Hey everybody, welcome to Popular Unknown Paintball Live. Um, yeah, tonight's going to be an interesting show to say the least. Unfortunately, my laptop's acting up. I honestly don't know if I'm going to make it through the show or not. I'm hoping I am, but you're going to see instead of me looking like this, like I normally would on a regular basis, I am going to be looking down a lot. And the reason for that is that I guess my video card is going because it's impossible for me to activate my backup um, display. So I can only look at the laptop. I can't have all my stuff working at the same time like I used to, which sucks to say the absolute, like I just say the absolute least. Anyway, you'll have to forgive me. I discovered all this in the last few minutes while trying to get everything up and running, and I honestly wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to get on tonight. Found that out last minute. Yay. So please forgive me if I'm not staring at the camera and I'm looking down. Oh, we've got Kevin saying, hey. Hey, Kevin, great to see you. Excuse me. But yeah, so I am dealing with technical difficulties that I may not be able to correct without getting a new laptop. So we're going to have to see how that works out in the next few weeks. Hopefully, some Black Friday deals will come in and I can find money from somewhere. I don't know. But in any case, before we get fully started, I do want to give a few huge shout outs. First of all, we have to say shout out to Ultrasilk because Caesar makes some great stuff. Got to give a shout out to the Ali Remembered Foundation as always. I am going to skip over this for a second. We're going to go talk about Transfuse. They have got some really cool stuff coming down the pipe, and they're trying to get some new products developed. I was talking to Steve the other day, and so be excited for that. And last but not least, or I shouldn't say last, but we should talk about Paintball.media. Uh, if you haven't checked them out, please swing by. It's actually, instead of paintball.com, paintball.media. It is a free paintball magazine, and it's the last paintball magazine in North America, or the only paintball magazine in North America right now. So make sure we check that out. Oh, Kieran's saying hello. So hey, back to Kieran. And we got Chica saying hello. So good evening to you, Chica. And all right. So, but I wanted to talk about Jelly Ball quickly before we get fully rolling. I've had the opportunity to have a small Jelly Ball business that I've been running for the last little bit, and I had a great experience last weekend. Well, actually, last week, because I had a private school actually hire me to do their show. And I think that that's amazing considering the current political climate. We won't get into politics, but to have a private school hire me to do an action pursuit game at one of the teachers' local farms, and all the kids got to have a good time. I think that was just amazing. And they are looking at quite possibly hiring me for a few more days to get more classes involved in the in the next little while. So I think that's awesome. If you guys all get a chance, um, or if you're a field owner and you're interested in Jelly Ball, what I can do, swing by jellyball.com and don't hesitate to reach out to John the Tank Tankersley on Facebook, or heck, you know what? Reach out to me and I'll put you in contact with the people, because I honestly do think Jelly Ball is going to make a huge, huge difference in paintball, keeping fields open, exposing new players to paintball. Like, just it's just awesome. So yeah. And please, again, for those of you just joining in, please forgive me if I seem not like myself. I'm experiencing technical difficulties with my phone, or not my phone, with my computer. It looks like the motherboard slash video card is going, and yeah, I'm having a peach of a day. So that's where we're going. All right, so we got Kieran saying he's going to be at World Cup next year. That's cool, Kieran. And we got Elliot saying, "Evening, Steve. Good to see you, Elliot." So today's show, I was kind of hoping to talk about alternative paint brands. Sorry about that, guys. I've got a bit of a tickle in my throat, and I'm not sure why. Shush out all you there with the dirty thoughts. Cut it out. But um, anyway, I wanted to talk about smaller paint brands in paintball. Um, the other day, JT from the Booney Boys came by, uh, and he was talking about playing at a local field where they were trying a new type of paint. He didn't tell me the name, so I was kind of hoping somebody out there might know what it was. But he talked about trying out this new type of paint that had a double skin on the ball. Now, apparently, it made the balls much smoother, much straighter, shot great. Quality of the paint was excellent as far as roundness and whatnot went. But they were having a hard time with the paintballs breaking, which kind of is a bad thing. It's kind of hard to say you've got good paint, but it doesn't break. Like, come on. But regardless, I thought it was interesting that it was a double-skinned paintball, and apparently they have double skins for winter weather, rainy weather, different things. So, if anybody's out there that knows what that is, please let me know because I would love to hear it. So, if you're watching this show after the fact, don't hesitate to send me a private message or something because I'd love to look into it. But I was also wondering what other paintball brands are out there. So this is going to be a very interactive show. Please, if you're out there watching, tell me back. Like just interact. Type in something. Say, hey, yeah, this is what type of parent I'm going to use. Actually, I should make that into a banner right now. And well, okay, let me just cite this out. What kind of small? This helps if I spell brand properly. Brand paint is available in your area. All right, so let's just make that here. So, as I've typed out below, please respond. What kind of small brand paint is in your area? And Elliot says, I've heard great things about HydraFit. HydraFit is absolutely fantastic, but it is not a brand of paint. It is a knee pad. And I will be discussing them. I was actually wearing my I actually have a pair of HydraFit paints or HydraFit uh, knee pads. I was wearing them at work today. I wear them all the time. I spend about 20 to 30 hours every week in HydraFit knee pads, and I think they are hands down the best paintball knee pads that exist. Actually, I would argue that they're the best knee pads that exist, period, whether you're in paintball or painting or prostitution. I don't care. I'm just saying they're the best knee pads ever. But no, I want to hear about paint. Now, I was with the understanding that Nelson had gone out of business. I should say out of business, but they've redirected what they were doing. But I'm getting messages on Facebook saying that you can still get Nelson paint in Michigan and in the west coast of Canada or Midwest, I guess. Anyway, so I was surprised to hear that Nelson existed. And I know that there is Apex or APX or whatever it is on the West Coast, Southern California. And I think that's Hinman's company or something. Um, but I'm hearing rumors about other small brand paints in the area. All right, so we got HK paintballs from Chica. Is HK though really considered an off-brand paint? Because I mean, HK is a pretty big company. You know what I mean? So I consider GI Sports and I consider Valken and I consider ProShar. They're major brands of paint. I would have thought that HK, because they're probably just getting somebody else to manufacture it for them and then flooding the market. I don't know if HK is considered an off brand or not. Maybe. You guys tell me. But are there any strange brands of paint out there that is available in your area that just seems uncommon? That's just outside of the norm. And Kevin's saying Nelson cringe bad turning experience. Yeah, Nelson's had mixed reviews over the years, depending on who was making it and when. Like it shouldn't say who was making it. Only Nelson made it. But my point is that paintball companies tend to have pockets of inconsistency from time to time. I know that when Diablo first came out, it was the most horrific paint you could ever lay your hands on. Footballs were more round than Diablo paint. But after a couple of years and some experimenting and stuff, I would argue Diablo was some of the best paint that this planet's ever seen. Um, but yeah. And we got Brian Sullivan saying only made in 4 places: Russia, Canada, USA, and East Asia. Okay, I'm curious, Brian, what is only made in 4 places? Are we talking about paintballs or are we talking about a specific brand? And I'm with the understanding that there is some paint now manufactured in Europe, because I wanna say England, but, I'm fairly certain that there's some, European brands now as well, but I could be very wrong. I just remember some of my British friends talking about it the other day. So, alright, Brian said he was talking just about paintballs. So, I'm not saying you're wrong, Brian. I honestly don't know. I just wanted the show to be very interactive, and I wanted to talk about paintball brands, and I wanted to know what was out there and if there's any different names. And Elliot says the RP Schreier of the old days was great paint. Elliot, I couldn't agree more. My F1 illustrator absolutely loved orange RP Schreier paint. I couldn't get enough of that. Anytime it came in, that's what I bought. And I would buy multiple cases at a time if I could, just because it just worked so well. I don't know what it was. If I got the green RP Schreier paint, like the lime green, for some reason it just didn't shoot the same. For some reason, my gun just liked the orange RP Schreier better than any other color. Can I explain it? Nope. But people will tell me I'm crazy. They're saying, "Oh, it all comes out of the same machine," but gun just liked it better, just shot better. I don't know what to tell you. We got Kevin Camacho saying that Diablo Inferno was my favorite, circa 2002 to 2004. Yeah, I loved Diablo paint. Like when it first came out in the mid-90s, mid to late 90s, can't say I was a fan. But by the late 90s, man, I love Diablo paint. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And I was lucky enough to be sponsored by them for a while too. So that was pretty awesome. I mean, it wasn't like a standard factory sponsorship back then. It's not like I got my paint for free, but I did get it pretty cheap by standards back then. And so that was good. But yeah, so people out there, I would love to hear what kind of paints are in your area. And if you want to talk about old paintballs, we can talk about that too. Like, because I mean, there was Zap, there was Chronic, there was Bullseye, which I've heard nothing but bad things about. There was, okay, we mentioned Nelson. I personally love ProShar paint these days. Like, I have never had a bad case of ProShar yet, but I don't get to use it very often. And Chica said Brass Eagle paintball. Yeah, that was. I'm wondering if that was Zap paint that was just rebranded. Because at that time, depending on what time you were talking about, Brass Eagle was buying a lot of different companies. So I'm not sure about that. But yeah. Anyway, that was my goal for tonight, was to try to talk about different paint. And I had some stuff that I wanted to do. I had some little images and things, but unfortunately with my laptop acting funny, I don't have the ability to do all the things that I would do, because I don't want to overwork my video card. So I am relying on you. Yes, you. Right there. You're looking. I'm pointing right at you. No, not him. You. Yes, you. Anyway, I'm requiring you guys, please talk to me a little bit. Let me know what you think. Let me know about paints and stuff. But I'm really concerned. I shouldn't say concerned, but I'm really curious to hear about this paint that has a double skin, which I couldn't get a name. I wish I did. It would have made this a whole lot easier. Would have made research a whole lot easier. Would have made it much easier to talk. But I was hoping somebody out there has heard of it other than just me. So, and this is this is challenging unto itself because I'm just yammering away. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I admit that freely, and I have no guests to make fun of. So, just a lovely podcast over all around. But yeah, so those of you just joining me, please, what kind of paint are you using in your area? Specifically, if you have any smaller brands, what are your opinions on the paint that you have? And I know that there's too small um, nowadays, and I wish we had some big bore paint. And I don't understand why the industry doesn't accommodate that, but it is what it is. But yeah, so what kind of paint are you using in your area? Please type away in the comments. I am reading it. And again, laptop is acting funny, so my normal screen that I'd be looking at here isn't here, so I'm going to be looking down a lot to read and type. So yeah. Oh, goody. My screen just glitched. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but yeah, we might be losing the show a little bit over. So, just so everybody knows, if all of a sudden I just go black, chances are I may have my computer may have just completely imploded mid-show. So much fun. Oh, we got Keith Kissel saying Apex defy far out here in California. Yeah, no, I know, and I believe Apex is made or APX is made by some Mike Hinman, the guy behind Aftermath, the pro team, I think. But yeah. Well, yeah, but I'd love to hear what. So let's talk about paint. What kind of paint are you guys using in your area? What do you find fun? Like I said in the past, I loved my Diablo paint and I loved RP Schreier. I was never a big fan of Zap. I know a lot of people lived and died by it. Um, I don't know. It just wasn't really my thing. Um, Also, the paint at the last Skyball shot perfect. So last Skyball, I think it was Skyball 7, if I remember correctly. But I'm not sure, and I assume they were using Zap back then. I don't think I was at Skyball 7. I know I was at Skyball 1. This is my Skyball 1 jersey, by the way, when I played for team leader. Those big goggles that eventually I think got sold to Brass Eagle. And we got we got Bot Valid saying hello, hello. I guess he's on from Twitch. That's cool. And hashtag paintballs for life. So I'm guessing that's a shameless plug, but by all means, go for it. And that also is on Twitch. But it's nice to have viewers come watching while they're on Twitch. And for those of you just joining us, because I'm just watching all the numbers change, we are talking about smaller brand paint, or I'm trying to talk about smaller brand paint that's out there because my friend JT from the Booney Boys was at a field west of Toronto, and he was trying a new type of paint, but he couldn't tell me the brand. And apparently, it had a double shell. And apparently, it's a new type of paint. And I am curious to see what kind of paint is out there, what other new brands are out there. I believe I've been told by a number of people that a lot of smaller companies are having paint branded or printed or made for them, and they're putting their own brands on it. And I just like to hear what's out there. I tried doing some research on it just to see what paintball brands there are, and there aren't any really good lists of paint brands that are available. And I find that odd. Like, I mean, if you wanted to watch a podcast about the best guns of 2021, there's like 1,000 podcasts of it. You ask any paintball player, I mean, any real paintball player that's been playing for any length of time, and they will tell you it does not matter how good your marker is. If your paint is crap, your day is sucks. But if you've got good paint, even if it's in a bad gun, you'll still have a great day. The actual quality of paint, the freshness of paint is more important than the quality of the gun that you're shooting. But everybody seems to put the marker above as the most pinnacle thing because it's what everybody sees. So I was kind of hoping to talk about paint today. And we got a Facebook user saying, hey. And we got Keith saying, great American 20 years ago, famous by Dynasty. Yeah, sure. That may be true, Keith, but I honestly haven't heard anything good about APX paint. So I don't know Mike. I don't know him from a hole in the ground. I've never met the man, so I'm not judging or anything. I'm just saying I know very little about him. And we got Linko64 saying only ever played paintball like twice. Played the awful PC game back in the day. Well, you better be careful what you say, my friend, about the awful PC game, because I know that Greg Hastings of Greg Hastings Paintball, he frequents this show and he'll stop in from time to time. So be careful. Be careful what you say. Although I don't know if Greg Hastings Paintball was originally designed for PC. I think it was always a console game for like PlayStations and Xboxes and things like that. But don't quote me. I'll have to ask. I'll have to get Greg Hastings on the show sometime and ask him about it myself. And Elliot said, my kids love Greg Hastings 2 on PS3. I never got a chance to play it much. I've been heard nothing but great things. I always knew Greg Hastings more from his Reds gear, which I absolutely love. But yeah, and I know that he's got Greg Hastings 3 coming out in the very near future, but I'm not sure as to when that is. I do know that he's got a lot of people graphed in so you can play as all your favorite people. I know Bud Orr is in it. You can play as Bud Orr. You can play as Fred Schultz. So many tournament players. I wasn't asked. Like, what's up with that? But and then there was Great American Paint with fruit scent attracts bees. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I bet it would. I know I was playing at EMR and they had a mortar, like an actual drop a mortar in for shooting paint, except you didn't drop it in. There was like a compressed air that would launch it. And they had their paint grenades or paint shells or paint rounds, whatever they drop in the mortar. It was like this giant balloon. It was like about this big. And then there was like a foam tail on it to try to get it to fly straight because otherwise it would just topple and wobble. And they had them scented like vanilla, and they had them scented like bubble gum, and they had them scented like I want to say a perfume of some sort. And I know I was playing, and they launched it, and the bubblegum one hit the trees above me, and it all came down, and it was the worst smell. I just wanted to hurl because all there was is this overwhelming bubblegum smell. All I could think about was that cleaning fluid they put in you in the dentist when they put it on your teeth. It just made me want to gag. So, yeah. So, is there anybody out there that is can tell me what kind of paint that they're using in their area? And I'm not talking mainstream paint like RP. Sorry, I should be sure, but like GI Sports or Vulcan or ProShar. All great paints, by the way. But I was just wondering what small paint is out there. And please message away, type it in. And yeah, and by the way, for those of you just joining, if I'm sound a little off my game, it's because I am. My laptop is acting up, and I've lost half my tools that I would normally use to make a good show. And I'm not even entirely convinced that the laptop's going to last through the whole show because it looks like it's the video card acting funny, and the video card is part of the motherboard. So, ugh. So, yeah. Anyway, I thought it'd be fun to talk about paint, but gotta be honest with you guys, I'm a little stressed out. And I mean, not that that's something you need to know, but just knowing that my laptop could go down at any time is really distracting me. And I think it's making for a very bad show. And I love all you guys, and I wanted to have a show, and I really wanted it to go well. But until I figure out exactly what's going on, I'm going to be distracted. And nothing against you all. You all are fantastic, but I'm not getting a lot of feedback to answer questions, and I don't have a guest. And I think that I am just going to be boring the heck out of you for the next little bit. And I don't want to do that because, quite frankly, your time is worth more than that. So I think what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to call the podcast early because, like, I'm getting a couple glitches happening here. And I don't know if you can see that or not. And I'm scared that the whole thing is just going to up and crash mid-show, and I don't want that to happen either. So I think I'm going to bail for tonight, but I do appreciate everybody that took the time to click in, and I love you all. And yeah, let's see if I can figure this out. If I can, maybe I'll put another show on this weekend just for the fun of it. Failing that, I will do everything in my power to be up and running for next week and make sure everything is cool. Anyway, I'm gonna say that's my show for tonight. It's definitely not my favorite show, and this is probably my least favorite show that I've ever made. But yeah, they can't all be gems. So with that, I am going to sign out for the night. Play with passion, everybody, and keep your paint dry. Here's hoping I see you all again real soon.